Good afternoon. You're watching Times TV, and today I'm very delighted to be here at the Embassy of Pakistan, where they are celebrating the Independence Day. And with me right now is His Excellency Ali Javed, the Ambassador of Pakistan to Oman. Thank you so much for joining us once again after a whole year, sir.
Thank you very much. Always good to have you here, Shruti. Welcome.
Our pleasure, absolutely. So firstly, I wish you a very, very happy Independence Day.
Thank you very much.
Right, so on this very auspicious occasion, I'm sure you have something to say to the Pakistani expats residing in Oman right now.
Still, it is one of the largest Pakistani communities anywhere in the world. It is the sixth largest Pakistani community worldwide.
Right.
And on this Independence Day, we have a triple kind of a celebration. It happens to be the Independence Day of Pakistan. It also happens to be the dates where the new government, after a historic election, is going to be taken office. In fact, earlier in the day, proceedings are already underway.
Right.
And also because the Eid is coming. So it is going to be a very long session of festivity in the country. And through your TV channel today, as before, I would like to congratulate each and every Pakistani man, woman and child residing across the Sultanate for their very immense and substantive contributions, not just towards the image of Pakistan, but also towards furthering Pakistan's friendship with Oman. And this fact is actually recognized from top to bottom by the Omani leadership every time I have met them, be it the political leadership, the trade, economic, or be it the military leadership.
Right.
They are appreciative of the services of our people, and I think I must acknowledge them completely.
Absolutely. So you did mention the strong relations, and clearly Pakistan and Oman has shared a very, very strong historic relationship. But how about the bilateral relations, and in the past years or during your tenure, how has it improved?
First of all, I would like to take a minute and explain to you a recent discovery made in Salut, Oman by a world heritage specialist, Professor Michael Johnson. He has a star of distinction given to him by the government of Pakistan for his services towards the Indus Valley civilization, which is the third millennium civilization of the world. His team has recently discovered pottery in Salut, Oman, where the ink on the pottery, the forensic studies done show that this pottery was brought from across the Gulf of Oman from Mohenjo-daro.
Right.
So therefore, we can say with a lot of certainty and scientific evidence that Oman's relationship with Pakistan is more than 4,500 years old. So that is an amazing fact.
That is.
And it's not simply a claim, it is a scientific fact. Over the past year or 2 years, I must report with great satisfaction the kind of support that I received from Pakistanis in Oman and from the Omani civil society organizations in the Sultanate, and also from the host government, the government of Oman. We have been able to achieve a lot of unprecedented stuff in the entire spectrum of bilateral relationship. We did not concentrate on one particular aspect and then ignored the other few.
Right.
So and with emphasis on human relations.
Right.
We have many projects which are near completion and many that have already been completed between the two governments. But the highlight of the year would be the success in both countries bringing their foreign ministers to co-chair the joint economic dialogue between Pakistan and Oman. Its first ever session. It is many sessions have been held in the past, but the first session that would be led by the foreign ministers,
right,
their eminences, the foreign ministers of Pakistan and Oman, is likely to take place by the turn of 2019, in as early as January. So we are keeping our fingers crossed. So should that happen, it would be an unprecedented achievement in our bilateral relations.
Right. So as of now, do you have an agenda for this meeting that you just mentioned?
Yes, this is a meeting with a very wide scope. It covers all facets of cooperation, and therefore both sides are busy preparing the agenda, and both sides are already engaging with each other as what must be prioritized in this very, very important dialogue. As I said, its value is already heightened by the fact that the two foreign ministers will lead, and of course, given the significance of the dialogue, you can expect that we are going to cover almost all facets of our bilateral cooperation, with emphasis on human relations, human exchanges, bilateral trade, and stuff like that.
Right. So you did mention again that there are different aspects that you're covering when it comes to bilateral relations, and one, of course, is human relations.
Yes.
But apart from that, what are the different sectors essentially that you have tried to cover in improving relations?
Well, let me be specific now. Pakistan and Oman suffer from their geographical location. They are earth prone. They are prone to calamities, natural calamities. Therefore, it is a very important and crucial MOU which is being finalized. It is regarding early warning system on storms,
Right.
mid-sea storms, onshore storms, and earthquakes. The Meteorological Department of Pakistan will be cooperating with the Department of Meteorology inside SQU,
Okay.
and both experts will initiate the exchange of former and prospective data on patterns of rainfall. So both sides will study to prevent our civilian populations from any harm.
Right.
Another very, very important aspect of bilateral relationship is our common past. As I just mentioned, the relationship is 5,000 or
Yeah.
5 millenniums old. However, Gwadar, a part of Pakistan, has remained in the administrative control of Oman until 28 September 1958.
Right.
Therefore, and many of the Omani civilization hails from parts of Pakistan, especially the largest tribe of Oman, which I could say are the Baloch.
Balochi.
So, Pakistan and Oman are very close to finalizing the MOU on cooperation in national archives.
Okay.
And then both sides are going to preserve their history and take pictures, microfilming, and preserving this very important aspect of our relationship for our new generations to come.
Right.
Pakistan and Oman are also very close to finalizing MOUs which could see a ferry service between Gwadar and Oman.
Oh, that will be very interesting.
Yes. We have done a lot of work in the last 2 years, and technical experts have now formed committees to look further into this aspect. It may not be the most financially viable project, but it is very, very significant as far as human relations are concerned.
Right.
We would like to move people on ferries. We already have direct flights to Gwadar, but we would like to bring people with some extra luggage maybe and some food products directly rather than going through the Dubai port.
Right.
So this is one aspect that we are looking into.
Right. So how much time do you think the ferry will take from Oman to Gwadar?
It will take 12 hours.
12 hours, all right.
Yeah, because the ferries, they travel at 50 knots per hour, and the distance is 202 knots. You divide that by 15, it's very simple. 12 hours is not bad.
Right. So that's
Yes.
very, very interesting. Again, another thing that is coming to enhance the relations
Yes.
between Pakistan and Oman. But just on those lines, there's also being a lot done with regards to education, information technology, and I think Dr. S.M. Junaid
Yes.
was here recently, and he tried to kind of bring that relationship forward as well. So what came out of that meeting or that visit here?
It has been a very productive meeting, visit, and we are very happy to lend our cooperation to the Omani institutions in the sector of IT. You may have heard that there are IT awards in Asia.
Right.
In I think 2016, Pakistan topped the table,
Oh.
and there are some very illustrious states that are part of this Asian, system where they select the best IT companies with their performance, and we have performed very well. This year, the latest reports that came out through your paper indicate that Pakistan has, for the first time, crossed the $1 billion mark in IT exports.
Oh.
And another very important MOU, which after about 6 to 8 months of effort has started yielding very lucrative incentives for the Pak Oman Investment Company. the Pak Oman Investment Company had signed an MOU on IT services with OTF, the Oman Technological Fund.
Right.
And they have done very well. I'm very happy to report that they are already overwhelmed with the business requests and inquiries that they are receiving from third parties from elsewhere.
Right.
So IT has played an extremely important role in any society in the last 20 years.
Right. But I think again he was called in by OCERT. Again, they deal a lot with cyber crimes and
Yes.
things like that in the country. So was that also discussed?
You see, Pakistan and Oman have not just the commitment to cooperate in cybercrime. It is a larger commitment.
Right.
And we can automize, for example, the banking system, the health, sector, services sector. So IT is very, very, completely covering many sectors.
Correct. Yeah.
In this particular field, because of our experience and the size of the challenge that we have been facing, yes, we are very pleased to help anyone trying to develop and improve their skills on cybercrime. Oman is doing very well, but of course, when two states they cooperate, there is a lot of knowledge exchange which is not given in books. There's a lot of on-hands training, and given the trust between our two sides,
Right.
We are very comfortable in learning from Oman and also in sharing with Oman.
Right, but speaking of the digital and online portals, essentially, something was launched last year and something was discussed last year, which was, of course, the Young Pakistan Forum,
Yes.
which was, again, very ambitious and a very, very enterprising idea at that point. How far has that come?
Your interest in the Young Pakistan Forum Oman substantiates my idea to launch something that will click with the younger generation. I am very pleased to observe that this is not just the first time or the second time that you brought it up. I am very, happy to inform that Young Pakistan Forum Oman was launched on the same evening last year,
Yeah.
on August the 14th, which was the Independence Day of Pakistan, within 6 hours of my live interview with you.
Right.
I, by the way, would also like to thank every Pakistani that logged on to our interview. At the time, I learned from Times of Oman that it was the most watched interview of any person.
It was.
Yes, so this is the kind of energy that we have been able to generate, especially in the youth here. You may also find it very interesting that 93% of the Pakistani population is between the ages of 15 and 30.
Oh, really? So the
Yes.
youth population is very strong.
Yes, it is the fifth largest in the world.
Right.
And by ratio or in numbers, it would be even better. Therefore, many past governments have been trying to take on this challenge to streamline the energy of the youth, and there is no better way than in which we thought, and that was after a lot of consultation with stakeholders in Oman, because I thought if it was not all inclusive,
Right.
all transparent, it's not going to start very well. With the help of young Pakistani professionals, there are two professionals, Mr. Yasir Bhatti and Mr. Mudassir Rizvi.
Right.
They have been providing a lot of support to this initiative, and the 6,000 students in Pakistan School Oman were delighted to see the 4K live broadcast of the lectures on the we have a lecture circuit which is part of the Young Pakistan Forum Oman.
Okay.
And we are also now going to launch, and through your program today I would like to announce once again a new launch of the internship sector circuit, whereby youngsters getting out of colleges would be provided with free internships from the Omani institutions,
Okay.
be it the banking sector, be it the law sector, or be it the airline sector, the air services sector. We are lining up a lot of organizations which would be very happy to bring in young Pakistanis, and maybe some of them could have internship with you, because
We would love that, absolutely.
I was actually delighted to see that there were so many who wanted to become shuruti, who wanted to become the gentleman behind the camera. And the first lecture that was delivered to us by Captain Mohammed, the CEO of Salam Air, children were holding cameras, and
Yeah.
they are now writing on the CV that they have done so many hours of footage.
Oh, wow.
And then that video was being live streamed through the 6 other schools. So children in their libraries, in their classrooms, in the auditoriums, wherever the space was available, all of them from grade 9, 10, 11 and 12 were watching the lecture live.
Oh, wow.
And therefore, it has been partially successful. And inshallah, I'm very hopeful that the other part will also become successful with the help of friends in the Omani civil society and friends in the Omani media. We would like to project this initiative as much as we can.
Our support is always going to be
Thank you
there
very
with the
much.
embassy, sir. But yes, I'm just going to get this straight again. So the internship program has just been launched right now.
It will
as
be launched. I am going to announce it on August 14th celebrations.
Right.
And as I said, last year the lecture circuit was launched, and this year the internship circuit will be launched because children are now coming back to schools. So from September, we will again very vigorously start working with our friends. Actually, we have been able to build teams of students and teachers in every school.
Right.
These are the lecture circuit teams. So, and we would like the lecture circuit to go anywhere in any school. I would also like to invite you to form part of the lecture as a young entrepreneur, and you can choose from our calendar.
Right.
You can then choose the city, and then you can go there and talk about your life experience and how you measure success in life.
Oh,
and
wow.
I think you are going to inspire a lot of young people, especially girls, through your interaction. So you're most welcome to form part of it.
This is actually absolutely great news for me, and I'm sure for the students who are watching us right now,
Yes.
there's an option for them to work and get hands-on experience
Yes,
from
absolutely.
the Omani industrial sector.
Absolutely.
This is great news. But again, just coming back to the visits again, because I think I'm just going to get a little too diverted by the Young Pakistan Forum. Also, we had a very other important visit, which was, of course, Chief of the Naval Staff was here as well, and that kind of shows the relations that again Oman has with maritime trade with Pakistan, etc.
Yes.
So what again came out of that visit essentially?
Okay. As I said in the beginning, our effort has remained to stay focused on the complete spectrum of our bilateral relationship, again with emphasis on human relationship. But we have worked tirelessly to improve trade, economic, as well as education, literary society, cinema, art, and all aspects of daily life. But equal emphasis has been laid by both sides on taking forward the relationship between the armed services, armed forces of the two countries.
Yeah.
In March 21-22, the Chief of the Army Staff, General Bajwa, was here. 23rd March was the National Day of Pakistan.
Right.
And 3 months later, on July, in July 17 and July 24, 25, the Chief of the Naval Staff was here.
Admiral Abbasi?
Yes. And a few months from now, the Chief of the Air Staff is again going to visit Oman.
Okay.
By the turn of 2019, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, who is a general that sorts of coordinates between all three armed forces of the country. All three armed services have their own chiefs, but then there is one central Joint Chief. He's also likely to visit Oman.
So this speaks volumes of the defense cooperation.
Yes, it is not just the defense and security cooperation, it is also maritime cooperation, it is intelligence sharing cooperation, it is anti-terrorism cooperation, it is anti-narcotics cooperation, it is anti-smuggling cooperation, it is joint maritime patrols in the high seas, it is bilateral exercises and talks between the armed forces. We are now having regular Tamar al-Tayyib, which is a bilateral maritime exercise between Pakistan Navy and Oman Navy. We also have a joint program review group called JPRG, which takes place every 2 years in Pakistan and Oman. The last one took place 8 months ago in Islamabad, and the next JPRG would then take place in Oman. The last maritime Tamr al-Tayyib took place in Pakistani waters,
Okay.
this Tamr al-Tayyib again is going to take place by the turn of 2019. So then we have another mechanism, as I said, economic dialogue, which is at the foreign minister plane. And in addition to that, we also have foreign secretaries bilateral political consultations.
Right.
So if we step back and look at the mechanisms that are in place, one could easily conclude that yes, it is all-encompassing, it is in its complete spectrum, and an effort is there intentionally to make sure that no aspect is left out.
Right.
Let me add that to celebrate Oman's National Day, the chairman of the Pakistani Parliament, the upper house,
Yeah.
Rais Majlis Dawra Pakistani, the chairman of the Senate of Pakistan, is expected to visit Oman.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and he's going to be here Oman National Day. So, and we are also looking at signing the MOU on cooperation between the two parliaments.
Right.
So if you look at the parliament, if you look at the military, if you look at the trade, and if you look at the human relation, we have tried to cover all aspects of bilateral cooperation.
Absolutely, and I have to agree. So it's not just, I was going to ask you initially about the milestones during your tenure, but then you've not just told me about the milestones, but also what you have set for the future. So 2019 is going to see a lot of important signings and agreements.
From March 2000, actually the Foreign Secretary of Pakistan, Ambassador Tehmina, the first female Foreign Secretary of Pakistan, by the way,
Yes.
was in Oman in October last year. And the Foreign Minister of Oman, His Excellency, was in Pakistan and before in May last year. And before that, the chairman of the Omani Senate was in Pakistan in January last year. And before him, the former advisor to the Prime Minister of Pakistan on Foreign Affairs was in Oman in September. So if you look at the period between September 2016 until August 2018 and going forward until March 2019, there has been a soaring and sustained trajectory of bilateral exchanges between the military, parliamentary and political leadership. And I think I will not like to comment on what has been achieved in my presence in the country. I would let our people judge that. But I would like to report with satisfaction that yes, the relationships are stronger, they are deeper, and they are wider than before.
Right, so coming to the people again, you've also covered that era essentially by having a direct communication with the people, and that is probably through your WhatsApp group.
Yes.
And I would say you're probably one of the first ambassadors in Oman to start your own WhatsApp group, so you have a direct communication with the people. So I'm very intrigued to know, to be honest, what is the kind of communication that takes place in the group?
All right, this is a WhatsApp broadcast. It is not a two-way messaging system.
Right.
This was done considering the very, very big size of the community and the complaints that I received about the embassy not extending courteous and efficient services, and many parts of the Sultanate, you know, it's a very wide country.
Absolutely.
Area-wise, the second largest, and our community is spread from areas bordering UAE to areas bordering Yemen.
Correct.
So my desire was to reach out to each and every person. And what about the housewives that never leave their home? What if they have an issue? And what about all these projects that I've discussed with you? How to get the people to know what we are doing, because any project, as I said before, which does not have the complete support and involvement of the people is going to fail. So before I wanted to go forward, I wanted to go backward and link with my people.
Right.
In excess of 13,000 people are voluntary subscribers to our WhatsApp broadcast.
Oh wow, huge
In
number.
excess of 12,000 people are voluntary subscribers to our email. It takes 9.5 hours to send one WhatsApp to the 14,000 subscribers.
No.
Yes, it's a time-consuming process. We don't have additional manpower, but we are very happy to manage it ourselves.
Right.
And we also have a dedicated WhatsApp number.
Right.
Now, the WhatsApp number is for those people that cannot afford to buy 5 riyal internet, you know, the blue collar force,
Right.
making between 90 to 120 riyals. 5 riyal means everything to them. So this number is dedicated to the ambassador's office. No one has access to it. Anybody can write on it. So communication with people on any subject,
Yeah.
be it a complaint, a request, or anything else, it takes place through the WhatsApp the ambassador initiative.
Right.
And all our programs and our press releases, information regarding the rules and law, immigration, passports, visas, any other new scheme launched for overseas Pakistanis, is then shared through the WhatsApp and email bank.
Right.
We also have a dedicated email where people write to us and we respond to them. So in equal medium, where be it SMS, email, phone, fax or WhatsApp, we connect with our people in the same medium and we reply to them, and then we make sure that there is a paper trail. Every SMS that is sent to me is printed on paper.
Right.
It is brought to me, and then action is taken and it becomes part of the record.
Right. So if I may ask, since you have this direct contact and connection with the people, I would like to know what the main problems they are facing or the challenges that the expat community is facing here.
There are two types of challenges. One are emergent in nature. You know, unfortunately, somebody meets with an accident. You know, it's a wide country. There are a lot of people, or somebody is in the hospital. Somebody has had a a serious injury. So in that case, this contact comes very handy.
Right.
Because people don't have to go through the red tape, and the bureaucratic hurdles, or standing in lines and
Correct.
looking for the people. They just pick up the phone and dial. By the way, I'm also very happy to tell you that in addition to the WhatsApp broadcast, which has a lot of followers, we have recently launched 3 new dedicated numbers for the people to have two-way communication.
Okay.
Yes. So in addition to the WhatsApp, email and SMS, the Ambassador Initiative, we have recently launched on March 23rd
Okay.
the WhatsApp communication, two-way communication, because broadcast is not two-way. So in view of a lot of inquiries, we attended to this part of the problem, and we came up with a solution.
Right.
So now we have added responsibility. We are managing 3 independent numbers for all inquiries regarding visas, passports, police, immigration, and welfare,
Right.
dead bodies, accidents, loss of passports, registration of children,
Right.
application which is online, and also a lot of the workforce which is in the camps outside of Muscat, outside of main cities. If they wish to communicate any problem, any suffering that they have, then they communicate with us. So all 3 numbers are kept with 3 officers who are in charge of these subjects.
Right.
And they are now regular, and it has been very handy. It has been very efficient. It brings a lot of transparency in our effort, and it brings a lot of efficiency in as far as our intention to serve our people is concerned.
Right.
And all this, I think, in itself sufficiently shows that intent is there to sincerely serve our people as their servant.
Right, right. So actually, with regards to the visa and especially passport processes, I have to mention that even that process has been streamlined because of your e-services.
Yes.
And the e-service portals. So what else has been introduced since the time we had this conversation last?
We first of all, we would be looking at further improving on our services. I believe there is always a lot of room to serve. I received a complaint only 2 days ago.
Right.
I rang up the lady today and I thanked her for bringing to our information a very important aspect. As I said, the relationship is very transparent and people feel encouraged
Right.
in sharing because they know somebody will listen to them and act. One of the visitors proposed to us to introduce the automatic ticketing system, like you go to Oman or a bank,
Yeah.
you take a number and you sit down and wait for your turn.
Correct.
We are introducing it already,
Okay.
and others requested that why the window of the embassy has a shade in it. So immediately all shades were removed because we would like our people to be seen and we would like interaction between the mission, the
Right.
embassy, the services and the public.
Right.
Therefore, people can now go online and renew their computerized national identity cards. People can go online and renew their machine readable passports.
Right.
Sometimes because of a technical glitch, computer not reading the fingerprints correctly, or picture was not scanned correctly, or somebody forgot to write the current address, or the bank receipt was not scanned properly, the system would not accept.
Right.
But because you did it privately from your laptop, now you will need to rectify it through the embassy.
Right.
So even though online system is there, the embassy is still here to serve any person whose online application could not go through completely successfully. So just by introducing the online identity cards and passports system, we have not shied away from continuing to serve our people.
Right, absolutely. So, sir, I think I've taken a lot of your time on this very auspicious day and I don't want to take more of your time. But just before we sign off, I would like to know, do you have a very special Independence Day tradition that you've been following over the years?
I think I have said this before, anyone celebrating their independence from any country in the world is a moment of pride and joy.
Yeah.
And Pakistanis do it with no less fervor than any other nation on the face of the planet. Sometimes maybe we even overdo it because the history of Pakistan's independence is very, very emotional. And Pakistan came into existence as a direct result of the efforts of the great leader Muhammad Ali Jinnah and our elders and forefathers who dreamt about the creation of an independent sovereign state.
Yeah.
On this day, I would like to remind all Pakistanis that Pakistan came into existence because of a struggle that was democratic, it was legal,
Yeah.
and it was political. And therefore, our history teaches us a lesson that the way forward is going to be finding our strength and unity, as the great leader told us, in a democratic, political and legal effort
Right.
to become successful. So as far as the celebrations are concerned, everywhere in the world, 9 million Pakistanis participate with their embassies, privately in their homes. I am sure I can tell you, people are buying dresses
Yeah.
in white and green. I was delighted to see children last year with their face paint with
Yeah.
green and white flags, and I was compelled to ask their parents, who were again mom and dad in white and green,
Yeah.
that how could you manage to bring your two kids, how did you, he said, we heard about the program through WhatsApp,
Yeah.
again a dividend, and we wake up as early as 5 o'clock in the morning to get ready, and we have come here from Marbella, which is about 30
Oh,
minutes
wow.
drive, and they were standing in the sun waiting for the time when the clock strikes 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. So this year, in convenience for our people, we have moved the time forward. We made it 10 a.m. We want a larger participation by men, women and children.
Yeah.
And we want them to come forward, sing their national anthem, enjoy the Pakistani sweets, wear their green and white, and take pride in their country's history.
Right, on that very high note of excitement and a lot of patriotism, I would like to thank you once again for joining us on
Thank
Times
you very
TV.
much. Thank you very much.
Right, and thank you for joining Times TV as well.
Thank you.